This week on Rockstar Superhero. There are singers, there are vocalists, there are frontmen, and there are a very small few who own all three categories. Jon Howard of Imonolith is that guy. I've been a fan of Jon since the early 2000s when his old band, Threat Signal, made a serious splash on a website designed to help you discover the world's best talent. At the time, Threat Signal was riding the top of the metal charts at GarageBand and garnering attention from every heavy music media outlet in the world. Who were these masters from Hamilton, Ontario? And what musical sorcery was this? Turns out, Jon and his band were just sort of winging it. Nobody in the band really knew what they had, but amazingly, they were heard by the right ears and transported around the world, creating this mystery and weird legend that helped Jon fully form, sprout his less than angelic wings, and never fully place his feet on the ground again. Our conversation today was absolute madness, and I had an amazing time, I'm not gonna lie. That said, we still live in a world where the internet isn't our friend, and occasionally we get audio lags and drop-offs and pings and pops and all that. However, most importantly, we have a righteous conversation, and I got a new friend out of the deal. If you didn't know Jon before, or if truly brutal heavy metal scares you, well, take another listen and consider that maybe, just maybe, you've been missing out the whole time. This is my interview with the voice of destruction, rage, and anger. This is Jon Howard on the Rockstar Superhero Podcast.
I love you guys. I should say I love you. I don't know about you guys. Back in the day when I stumbled across you guys on GarageBand, Threat Signal.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been around, bro.
Oh, fuck. 2004, we put shit up on GarageBand.com. You can't even find GarageBand anymore. It's like an Apple GarageBand product, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's almost like it went the way of MySpace, except it didn't suck quite that bad.
Yeah, exactly. But there was I remember the battle on GarageBand to get to number one. It was like us and Bleed the Sky.
Yeah. You guys, you were at number one all the time. The funny thing is I don't remember which songs you had on there. I know you had
we put Rationalize on there.
Yeah.
That was the one that did it for us.
Yeah.
I think we put like Inane.
Yes.
And maybe One Last Breath, but I think Inane was on there.
Yeah. No, there was 3 tunes. Here's what I remember though. I had my own band on there, so I'm a drummer, but I was doing more like adult contemporary rock. Like I was doing like Beach Boys type stuff.
Love it.
and every once in a while, it would feed me one of your songs to rate, and I was like, I know who this is.
Sick. And that was the cool thing about that site, because you didn't know who you were rating. Well, you did, obviously, but
yeah.
I would go on there and rate bands, so
yeah.
I threw the fucking song up without telling my band, because I wanted some vocal feedback, and I just wanted to hear what people thought, because I wasn't even sure if it was good or not. I was just doubting it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I put it up and then it exploded. I'm like, well, fuck, I guess we have to call the band Threat Signal now.
Is that really true? Like you didn't have a name at the time?
Well, we had a list of names.
Okay.
So my guitarist Rich and my guitarist Kyle had a whole list of names. One guy came up with Threat, the other guy came up with Signal, and they put them together.
Nice.
And then I'm like, shit, man, that's a badass name. Like, what does it mean?
It is.
I don't know. It's 2 words, but it's fucking badass. So I took that name and put it online. I kind of jumped the gun because they weren't sure if they wanted to use it. I'm like, fuck it, we're using it. you know?
Yeah, no doubt, man. That is so legit, though. It makes total sense. That music. So, for those people who are going to be listening and watching this show, if you are not familiar with Red Signal, you have to go back a bit. But I mean, what a catalog, dude! You guys hit the hard thrash stuff. You hit the progressive metal thing. You hit the melodic metal thing. You hit the metal thing. You had these beautiful soaring choruses and these really fry vocal verses. It was just killer. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, and like we're messing around with some acoustic guitars, some keyboard stuff. Like we just fucking did whatever we wanted, but it still remained metal. You know?
Yeah. Dude, let's jump into your origin story, because a huge theme of what I do is about like the formation of the superpower, right? And I think about like bugs biting people, right? Peter Parker got bit by the spider, right? You got bit by the music bug.
Yeah.
But how did that start, right? Because I mean, you were radioactive from day one, bro.
It's kind of funny how you say bit by the bug, because I can remember when something like fucking jolted me, you know, because my mom put me in piano class and, you know, I got bored of that. She put me in guitar and I didn't really like it, you know, because it was just all theory stuff and boring, you know, so I dropped that and I was still young, maybe like, I don't know, fucking 12 or something. But the jolt was when I put on the fucking TV, and then this guy named Kurt Cobain died. You know, he killed himself. That was the jolt. I didn't even know who Nirvana was. So in 94 or whatever it was, I'm like, how could this fucking rock star shoot his fucking head on, like blow his brains out?
Yeah.
He has everything. You know, I was just like, what? So then I just dove into Nirvana and like it engulfed me. I'm like, I want to be like this guy, but like, you know, not die.
Yeah. You know what, dude? I got to say something, because this is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
You grew up in Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember back in the day when you first came out, and one of your big things was you grew up in this industrial crap hole called Hamilton, right? You used to write that on all of your you know what I mean? All your publicity. And you know, Kurt Cobain comes from a little town, you know, west of here called Aberdeen, and it's an absolute industrial crap hole.
Shit.
Yeah. My apologies to the people that live in Aberdeen, because my mom doesn't live that far away. But it is what it is, man. And there's something about like the formation of the artist in a place like that, because you're trying desperately almost to like get out. And if you can't get physically out, you're going to get spiritually and mentally out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I still live here, you know?
Like, sorry.
It's like all industrial. It's dirty as fuck. Like I have to wash the front of my house. You know, like it's dirty, man. But like we take all our band pictures by some rusted shitty wall. You know, it's just because it's right here. You know, it's metal as fuck.
Yeah, it is metal, man. That's for sure. Oh, you know, I've never been there, but I've been to Buffalo, which isn't that far away. And I mean, correct, right? Buffalo's just like on the other side of the border.
Buffalo's like fucking 40 minutes, maybe an hour drive. That's where I'll cross the border and grab flights out of Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense. But my point is I had never been there, dude. And I was like, oh, this place is dank.
But you know what's funny? It's funny because Hamilton's also beautiful. I live by the like kind of bay part of it, where all the ships come in, the steel mills. But on the other hand, the other part of Hamilton, I think we're the waterfall capital of the fucking world, because we have this escarpment and there's tons of beautiful waterfalls. So like you have this split of the city. It's fucking cool.
Oh man. Why did your parents choose that place? Is your dad in the industry up there, or what's the deal with that?
I never met my dad, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom raised me with my grandma and my family. My grandpa built the house. You know, so we've always owned this house. Like I moved out for a bit, then I came back to take care of the house. You know, so I'm still living in Hamilton, and yeah, man.
That's legit, man. You're like the real story, though, man.
Yeah. It's like, John, move to California. John, move to New York. I'm like, nah, I'll go home and hang with my family. You know?
Yeah.
I like it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know you got the studio there. Do you have a lot of good friends still, or has the world changed a lot for you over the last, say, 20 years?
I still have a lot of friends, and yeah, fuck, I see them all the time. And a lot of bands come in here and record. I'm still helping out local bands, like even throughout this pandemic bullshit, like, I'm
Yeah.
still tracking stuff, mixing stuff. And I also have like a job, which is great because I had it as a part-time job. And then when the pandemic hit, I'm like, fuck, okay, well, I guess I'll go full time, because I don't have touring or anything. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's a fucking cool job because I get to build custom bass guitars.
Yes. I saw that, man. I
Yeah.
watched one of your tours through the studio. That's badass.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, fuck, I got that co-op. It was like a co-op placement when I was in high school. Where do you want to do your co-op placement and work for free? So I'm like, oh, this is a music store, but I didn't realize there was a wood shop in the back. I just wanted to like sell guitar strings, but then they took me for a tour. I'm like, holy fuck, there's like a wood shop back here. They're building instruments. I'm like, get me in on that, So they hand me a sanding block. It's like, here you go. Fuck.
Yeah.
And I never left. That was like 20 years ago.
Oh my God. So dude,
Yeah.
so you look, I mean, this is all nice stuff I'm about to say. You look so no, really, you look so young. I mean, I know because I've been watching you, like I said, for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But you look still like you're like 23, 24 years old. Do you mind me asking, how old are you?
Fuck, I just turned 39.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
you're on the cusp.
Yeah. My balls aren't sagging yet. I'm good.
It'll happen, man. Trust me. I'm 54. It'll happen.
It'll happen. Yeah. I'm just trying to ride this train as long as I can, man. I'm happy when I get ID'd at the liquor store, like, oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, so I got to jump into the GarageBand thing for a second because it's a huge component of actually getting you where you are, man.
Yeah.
It was like American Idol before American Idol.
Yeah,
it totally was.
It was huge.
And you guys won the whole damn thing, correct? I mean, right?
Yeah,
am I right on that?
They had different categories, right?
Yeah.
And, I don't know how many thousands of entries in the metal scene. There wasn't a lot of subgenres back then, but yeah, we put our song on. I think it was Rationalize. That's the one that went
definitely
to
Rationalize. Yep.
Yeah, and that hit #1. We're like, what the hell, And that's what started everything. From that website, us being on #1, like we stayed up there for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think it ended up being a year we were still #1.
That's correct.
But fucking Nuclear Blast, they contact me, like they send me an email, like, hey, this is Yop from Nuclear Blast. I'm like, no way, like it's like Meshuggah, Soil,
yeah,
like all of like our like idols from Europe and shit, like are on that label. So like the whole band, all of Threat Signal's like, did we just get offered a record deal? I'm like, yeah. We did. And I'm like, let's sign it right away. I'm like, no.
If anybody knew how stupid that would have been if you had done that, of course, but you jumped off the cliff anyway.
Like, no. So then I'm like, okay, what do we need? I'm like, okay, we need an entertainment lawyer to look over this deal. So I just type in the internet. I'm like, biggest entertainment lawyer in Canada.
Nice.
Click. And then I click on the link and like go to that. I sent them an email like, we got this record deal from Nuclear Blast. We're not sure what to do. And this company handles like Avril Lavigne, Sum 41, all the big rock pop Canadian artists. Yeah. And then we got a reply like, we really love your music. Can we come down and meet with you? So we've got the top entertainment lawyer, Chris Taylor, in my basement with Greg Norrie from Treble Charger and like all these Canadian, icons in my basement in like 2004, just like
wow,
wanting to, further this band. So everything started fucking coming at us, right after GarageBand.
Yeah, man. It was like you guys were like the Wayne's World of metal. You came out of nowhere.
We're not worthy.
Right? You know what I mean? But everybody wanted a piece of it. I mean, of course, the problem is everybody wanted a piece of it. And, it's like, Dear Siri, what is publishing? I mean, you have no idea what you're stepping into.
Exactly. We had to work out like touring deals, like publishing deal, like are we selling our songs? How long do they own our songs? All these just different little things we have no idea about. I thought like, oh, we got a record deal, we sign it. Oh, we don't have to work anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's back when we thought a record deal was like, fuck, we made it,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in all reality, it's not,
We're going to get $1 million signing bonus and live on the Caribbean.
Dude, I think, yeah. One of my questions to the label was, do we get like money for writing? I was asking for like pre-production money. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought we'd get paid to stay at home and write songs. I'm like, what am I thinking?
That's insane. It makes sense though. Sorry, I lost you there for a second. You got a good signal with me still?
I think so.
Okay, good. Well, so did you only have the 3 songs initially? Was that it?
Yeah, we had another song called Guttersnipe.
I love that song.
Yeah, I actually have it framed over here.
Yeah.
I pulled up I found our old demo, and this is like that was our very first. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, well, I can see it. Yeah, I'll tell everybody too that he's showing me around his house right now, and he's got a cool little frame thing here with his threat signal stuff on the wall.
Yeah, that was the first EP thing. It was never released.
Yeah,
so that was an unreleased song, but this one was released, and we would stand out front of Slipknot shows and Fear Factory shows and hand those out for free.
Yeah.
People need shit to listen to on their way home, so we just fucking blasted those out, and it did a fucking wicked job because our very first show was completely sold out, headlining, packed in this. It was like a 350 capacity underground venue.
That's insane. That's insane, man.
And it was just sweat dripping off the walls everywhere. Like everything happened so quick,
Yeah.
So it's if you write the music, I guess, but I think music's about timing too, because the music we were writing at that time, it was just hitting people's ears like this new thing, because I guess we were taking things from all of our influences, like Meshuggah, Pantera, Soilwork, combining it with whatever non-metal influences we had, rock music, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we just hit something at the right time,
Yeah, no doubt. So was Rich your cousin or is he your brother?
He's my cousin.
Okay.
So my grandpa built this house I'm in, and he built the one next door to me, and that's where my cousins lived. So so I'm an only child, right? So I would run over there and hey, Rich, come on, let's go ride bikes, let's go do this, let's go do that, so we were just always together,
Wow.
So even my high school bands, I'm like, Rich, you got to play guitar. He was always in my bands,
Yeah, man, dude, I'm so blown away by the beginnings of this story because there's bits and pieces in there that I kind of assumed, based on the stuff you've said online, the way the lyrics track in your songs, there's a certain violence and anger to you that I find phenomenal and amazing. And I totally live vicariously through your screams, man. They are I'm actually kind of deeply, my friends know this, I'm kind of a deep-seated angry guy, but I pretend like everything is going well.
I know what you mean.
But you, dude, whether it's the studio or on stage, it's so brutal. And of course, I've seen, like I said, videos of you. I've seen a lot of photos of you, a lot of stuff where you can tell you're a great guy, but you have this brutal thing kind of hidden inside of you that you let out quite often.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It's a combination of where you were born. It makes sense that, I hope this isn't offensive, but that you were kind of abandoned by your family. You know what I mean? You have your mom, but you didn't have your dad. And that's a huge thing that will F with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny because my mom was always I think she brought this whole portfolio of pictures and things. And I can't remember what age I was. I was young. But it's do you want to know about your dad? And do you want to know about your half sister and half brother? And I'm like, No.
Wow.
I'm just
You
like,
and Nikki Sixx, screw that guy.
yeah. I'm like, I'm completely fine. Like, I love my mom. We're doing fine. Why the fuck do I want to add some stranger who fucking just took off and never gave us a dime, whatever? I'm sure, like, he might be a nice guy, whatever. I don't know the fucking situation. I don't give a shit. Yeah,
Right,
so why
right.
complicate things, But I don't know. Some people go searching and, and they have to find and have to get closure. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is good for my metal.
I think so. I mean, look, dude, here's the reality. If you don't have to add anything into your life to like make it better, like if your life is good and you're, you know what I mean? Like what I love about you is the catharsis and that ferocity, right? It's intense and you put it out. But I think because you put it out, it allows you to be a normal, good guy.
Yeah. I've had people like, well, what do you play? I'm like, I'm the vocalist. They're like, no fucking way. Like, you're just chill, quiet. Like, you can't. No way. And then they see me step on stage when that fucking switch flips. And I was like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah.
I just see their eyes. I've seen those fucking faces that didn't believe me. And they're just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm like spitting in their face. Like,
oh my God, dude. Let's get to your voice because it's legit. I mean, it's a total superpower. And you said something a second ago that makes me feel like I'm right. So you mentioned, well, you didn't mention Phil Anselmo, but you did mention Pantera.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you'll hear this as a compliment, but dude, every time I listen to you, I feel like Phil was a huge influence on you.
Yeah.
And you found your sort of, your own unique vision or version of his sounds. And he never really sang. And your voice now is super melodic. It's impeccable, in fact. And I mean, and I'm a snobby musician, so I really listen for tone, and you hit tone.
Thanks,
so yeah. I mean, so I think that's the takeaway. Oh my God, you're a better Phil Anselmo. What do you think?
Oh man, dude, I idolized like Phil's screams.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand how the fuck he did those high screams. Like that throaty, raspy high scream shit.
Yeah.
I think it was when we were forming the band in 2003. I was going to college. I went to college for architecture because I just wanted to build shit. There's a lot of math. I was good at it.
Totally.
But I did a co-op placement, so I would drive to work, and I'd have this long drive, and I'd listen to Pantera and just try to do high screams like Phil, and like I'd be driving in my car, just fucking trying to figure out how to do it, man. I must have blown my voice out a couple times, I don't know, but I figured it out, and then I tried to push it higher. I figured everything out on my own by trial and error, and just listening to these, the people I looked up to. And the biggest slap in the face was just, figuring out how to record my own voice and then hearing it back. I'm like,
right.
Why don't I sound like them? You know what I mean? Like, so I just hammered on it and just kept trying and listening to myself and perfecting myself, just beat the shit out of myself,
Yeah.
I was never planning to be the singer, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Back in my high school roots, I played guitar, and I was like super shy, but I had my long hair and like played behind my fucking, knockoff Les Paul. We were like trying out singers for the little local band, and we just didn't really like anybody. And I think my fucking mom said, grow a pair of fucking balls and sing it yourself.
Really?
I'm like, really? She kind of pushed me into getting that confidence, and I was scared to death, like shaking, I could barely play guitar because I was scared of singing, so jeez. I attacked my biggest fear head on, joined the battle of the bands, went up in front of the 500 people, almost shit my pants, but you just fucking do it, man. You don't be a bitch. You just do it.
Yeah.
The scariest thing in the world, but if you don't attack your fears head on, then what the fuck you living for, man?
Yeah, you know what, dude? I'm telling you. So I have a lot of listeners, and I'll brag. I have a lot of listeners.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I love the fact that you're on the show because a huge component of my audience is like easy listening and adult contemporary.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Cool.
But here's the thing. I'm not just a closet metalhead. I mean, I'm into all styles of music, and I think it's important that people hear you. They don't just hear how you sound and the music you're making and who you're playing with, but they hear those words because, dude, everybody's got static. And most people, they succumb to it, and you don't. And that is badass. That is so badass, man. I mean, I know we don't know each other. This is the first time we've met, but you, my friend, I mean, like, I want to hang out with you because you're legit.
You're fucking right. Thanks, brother.
Yeah,
we would hang good, man. Yeah,
I think we would. I think we could put a few back and just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just feel comfortable talking to you. I'm like telling like all these deep things, you know. Like I haven't said half this shit to anyone before on like an interview.
Nice.
You know, so like.
Well, it's because they don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
They don't ask those kind of questions or dig in like that. You know, I've never said anything about my fucking dad or fucking like my mom.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I think humanity's a tough call, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so here's something I want to talk about, and this is gonna make you a little uncomfortable, but we're good, right? We're good now, right?
Oh yeah, we're cool now, man.
So, Threat Signal. Lots and lots of incarnations, lots of different musicians in and out of the door. I always got the feeling, in the beginning, I didn't know this, right? I didn't know Threat Signal was basically you and your cousin and maybe Kyle. Like, I just didn't quite get the whole thing. But it makes sense when you tell me what happened and how it happened, that, those were programmed drums. Most people don't know that first EP wasn't a drummer. It wasn't Adam. It was great programming. And I remember people saying things like, "Oh my God, listen to the feet on that guy." And I'm like, I can tell that is quantized. That is either a quantized drummer or that is a program. But let's get back to the humanity of this. How does Threat Signal end up being basically Jon Howard and not a collective? How does that happen? I mean, are you just that intense?
I've had people say, "Oh, fuck, you must be hard to work with."
Yeah, I mean, you scare me, dude.
But I will admit, like, especially in those days, I had drive to make it, man. Drive, like, every day. Let's go, go, go. What's next? What's next? And it kind of worked, and then everything just kept coming at us. I started the band with my cousin. Lives next door. We started this band. We're like, I don't know what we want to write. Maybe something with our influences, but we need another guitarist to write with.
Right.
And this local shredder guy, Kyle McKnight, knew me from my local bands and heard we were looking for a guitarist to start a new project. So he comes to my front door, knocks on the fucking front door. He's holding the fucking VHS tape.
Oh my God.
He fucking, like, that's, I don't know why it's on VHS, but he gives me this fucking tape. And me and Rich watch it, and it's like this fucking shredder kid from around the corner, man, playing
Monster
like
player,
Black Label Society, Zakk Wylde solos, fucking anything he wants. So we recruited him. So it was just us three starting out.
Wow.
And us three, we program the drums. Usually, like, a guitarist will program with like 4 feet and 5 arms. So then I would kind of be like the moderator, producer guy to change it. And I didn't know what I was doing for recording, but I figured it out. I just popped a fucking mic into the sound card, threw it on a cabinet, and just gave her, and got us a record deal. But we actually got a fucking record deal without having a drummer or a bass player.
It's monstrous.
We didn't even play a show.
That's so sick. And then you got Christian to do the first record.
Yeah, which is fucking insane. That came around through a photographer.
Wow.
His name's Omer Cordell.
Yeah.
So he spent time working with Fear Factory, and we got introduced to him through the industry. And he gave Christian our demo, back, when we had this little 3-song, 4-song demo.
Yeah.
And Christian ended up calling me on my house phone, and I'm like a huge Fear Factory fan. I would always go to the Fear Factory shows in Toronto, like I get dropped off, and I couldn't drive yet. Like 1998, 99.
Yeah,
Like,
no
I'm in
doubt.
high school, man. Just like rocking out, fucking watching them play, man. So I get this call from Christian. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, and he wanted to work with us, fly us down to LA and do our first album.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Unbelievable.
I had to actually talk the record label into it. I think they wanted Devin Townsend to do it.
Really? To produce it?
Yeah.
Holy crap. What a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even have a comment for that. That blows my mind.
I don't know why I forgot about that for a while. I just remembered now. I'm like, holy shit, I think yeah, that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, Devin Townsend, like that'd be fucking awesome. He's Canadian. Yeah. So we talked to him, but the timing didn't work out, and we wanted to get this record done. So the record label's like, Christian hasn't done anything, like no producing, no whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. It's Fear Factory. I want to go to LA.
Yeah.
And
hang with Christian. Yeah.
I want to go hang out with Christian. So that's what we did. The label's like, okay, we'll take a chance on it. And he produced a fucking killer first record, man. And we tracked the guitars in the Fear Factory jam space. And then Christian had a little studio where we tracked the vocals. We tracked a bunch of shit in like one of the guys from Cypress Hill studio. So we got to meet up with Cypress Hill guys and shit. It was just like just surreal shit, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is such an insane. That first record is fantastic. And I was so mad that Guttersnipe was not on the album. Have you ever put it on anything? Because my brain tells me you guys stole like a melody from it and put it on another, or wrote another song around that melody.
We might have wrote something similar, maybe. Yeah, we kind of just put that song aside. We wanted to like fix it up. We just didn't think it was good enough at the time.
Oh my God, it's so good.
But I do remember releasing it at some point. We did like a fan, I don't know what it was, an online competition thing. And we released our demos as like a prize or something. I can't remember what the hell it was. But we released all the demos and included Guttersnipe. So if anybody
that vocal intro, dude. Right off the bat, balls out. I mean, it was like it's just like I mean, I don't even know how you do it. Of course, I'm a drummer. I am not a vocalist, and I cannot do what you do. But whatever the hell that was, it sounds like it. People talk about it. They talk about screaming razor blades. That scream is the razor blade scream. It's incredible.
Just that dirty.
Yeah. So I got to ask a question about that dirty. How in the hell do you do it? Do you just practice and practice? Because I've been asking people for years, how do you fry scream? I don't get it. Like I just can't wrap my brain around it. And when Tatiana broke with Ginger, when she, because she kind of almost like modernized it and made it popular, which just blows my mind that this has become a thing now that people do. But my brain always says suck in, get that, but you're pushing, right?
I've had a lot of people surprising, like ask me about if I do inhales. I'm like, what the hell's that? Like, what do you mean? Like I just choke. Like it doesn't make that makes no sense to me. So people who can do that, fuck, props to them, man. But that's just blows my mind. What the hell is that? But mine is just all like from the gut, just pushing, and it's pretty loud, and it's a lot of shaping the throat too to form, like lower and higher. Like a high scream would be more throat based, like whatever. I never took any lessons or anything. I just pounded on my vocals until I liked what I found, know. And I actually have these like abnormally large tonsils. And like when I was younger, the doctor wanted to pull them out when we were like making our first music, because they would always get red and infected, right? I'm like, no, because I thought I would lose my skills there.
Freddie Mercury said, don't take my teeth, don't fix my teeth, it affects my voice. And you're saying don't take my tonsils, it affects my scream.
I swear, like fuck, I'm glad they don't get infected anymore.
Oh my God. Dude,
one of them's really big, so
it's like a testicle just hanging in the back of your
yeah, I
throat.
got this big fucking ball hanging in my throat.
Oh my God. When did the first moment of oh crap hit you regarding the music business? Was it Christian and the whole Devin thing, or was there a negative or a positive, like holy crap, we're in for it, man? What was that?
Oh man. Well, just getting that record deal offer from Nuclear Blast was like, what?
Yeah.
It just kind of it proves something that like you've got something, It's like,
yeah,
I didn't like a record deal. Crazy. Because at that point, I would have been happy if my band made a t-shirt with my name on, like Threat Signal. I'd be like, holy shit, we have a t-shirt,
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I would be so happy, But, but then we get this record deal offer, and then everything started happening so fast. And then I'm under these palm trees in LA hanging out with Fear Factory. It's like, I think it took a while for everything to sink in. All these things kept happening. Came back from recording under Reprisal, and then we went to Europe and played Earthshaker Festival in Germany. And shit, man, like before that, we were just playing, local clubs, small clubs, but to stand on the stage at Earthshaker, like, just all these huge things kept happening. And I'm like, I think my mouth was just open the whole time,
Oh my God. Well, was there ever a moment of I don't want this anymore? Because
oh man, not me.
No, okay. Because every artist I know, dude, goes through this sort of phase of like, I'm lying to myself. This is not who I want to be. You know what I mean?
Well, I like touring, I could say like touring, you'll have like the best times of your life and then the worst times of your life, because I remember this one point I'm just sitting on the floor in this shitty bar in New Mexico, just like with my hands in my head, and just like I have all the band money in my pocket, which is like less than $100. And I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna get home. I'm just like, what am I doing? Like they're paying us like $100 to play. I'm just like, you have those really down moments, but then you gotta slap yourself in the face, man. You're like, I would fucking love to be there right now.
Yeah.
Just the experience goes a long, long way. But I was one to never quit and never give up, right? And that was the thing with our first lineup. Like when I started the band with Rich and Kyle, everything moved so fast. They weren't sure if they wanted it once they experienced it. Rich was the first one to leave because he's like, well, I gotta finish college. My dad wants me to finish college. So he dropped, and then Kyle wasn't sure if he liked touring after we did all the Soil Work tour, like fucking all these wicked tours, and he's like, he was just, maybe he wasn't built for the road life. So my primary guys I wrote with left the band. What the fuck am I gonna do? And then there's like, I'm left with me and then this new bass player, Pat. Like, how the fuck? How are we gonna?
Pat was crazy. That dude was bonkers.
Yeah. So me and Pat, I think we cried together, and then I think Pat started smoking when Kyle quit. Like he was devastated, right? Like, what are we gonna do? So we just went on the hunt for another like a new Kyle, So
man, that's got to be tough. It's it's funny. Talking to you now reminds me. Have you ever seen the movie That Thing You Do?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it has Tom Hanks, and it's about a band in the early '60s that's like a one-hit. They're a one-hit wonder. Are you familiar with this?
No. It sounds like something I want to watch though.
You have to watch it. It's an unbelievably cool movie, and your story is so similar because it's about a band that literally gets hits the big time out of nowhere and doesn't know how to deal with it and completely implodes.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's what happened. Right?
But you're still here, man. You're still here.
You can't fucking kill me, man.
No, I wouldn't want to try either. Your voice is a weapon, brother.
Yeah, just fucking scream you.
Oh man, so we got to lead up to what's going on now, okay? Because I can talk about Threat Signal forever because I'm such a fanboy, but we got to get to what's going on. How did Imonolith happen? Because you mentioned Devin Townsend, and you and I, of course, have a relationship. I mean, I'm not close to him, but I interviewed Ryan a number of years ago for this show.
Cool.
And I was a DTP fan for as long as you can go back.
Yeah.
That being said, when Devin decided one day to kind of surprise everyone by basically destroying their livelihoods, how did Imonolith happen, and how did you end up? Because I mean, you had to be first on the list, but I mean, how were you available? You know what I mean? How did it happen, man?
Well, yeah, because Ryan was touring with Devin Townsend, and I guess he always had a feeling. Like, I didn't know Ryan at that time.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone knows Devin Townsend. But yeah, Ryan had this idea that, well, something might happen. So he started writing music with Beeve, the bass player. Yeah. And, just in case, so Devin just flattened the band, went solo.
Awful.
So they had all these songs written, probably almost an album of songs written. And they were putting together a band. And they needed a singer, so they were like writing down all these big singers and all these ideas. And so this photographer, his name's Neil Lim Sang. He has this colorful beard, and everybody knows him in the industry. When you roll through like Seattle area, he's always there.
Nice.
I think he goes on tour with like Gojira and Lamb of God.
Oh, I know who that guy is.
You know Neil?
Yeah. I mean, I've met him. He's like their road manager. And
maybe he takes a lot of photos and shit.
Yeah.
He's like the colorful Asian fucking he's fucking
yeah.
Awesome. But we met him on like our first Threat Signal tour in 2006, and we always kept in touch. And so he's friends with Ryan, and so Ryan asked Neil, "Do you know any singers?" And Neil's like, "Have you heard of this guy Jon Howard?" And Ryan's like, "Fuck no, who the hell's that?"
Wow.
So he checked out Threat Signal. He's like, "Fuck, we gotta call this guy, see if he's interested."
Yeah.
And I already knew Byron,
right,
Fear Factory.
Yeah.
And he was working with being in Imonolith, like he was playing bass at the time. This is like the original,
the very beginning, because Jed was there too, right?
We were just trying to figure it all out. But Byron calls me up. I'm like, holy fuck! I'm like, why the hell's Byron calling me? I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
I pick up my phone, like, oh, you want to try out this new project? It's like a half strapping young lad, half Devin Townsend project, and you would sing.
You're like, kaboom.
Yeah, dude. And it came at a perfect time because Threat Signal was just, we were having fights with our management, and like, I don't know, they were threatening to sue me and shit. And like, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but
yeah. Well, let's not. I don't want to get you in trouble. That's why I didn't ask you about Alex either.
But there was a bunch of shit, and I wasn't very motivated on working with Threat Signal because it was just a mess. So I'm just kind of down. Like, what am I gonna do? My fucking didn't want to start a local band at the time. Yeah. So I got that phone call. I'm like, oh my God, like this is what I needed. So they sent me one song and said, write the vocals, send it back. So like, I have a studio, right? So I jumped on it, wrote it all, sent it back within like 2 days. And they're like, holy fuck, that's sick. They're okay, record that song again, but with our lyrics and our ideas. I'm like, okay, fucking do that. Send it back the next day. I swear they were just fucking with me because they knew like right away I was gonna be the guy, but they made me track this song like multiple times. Try it this way, try it that way.
Yeah. Wow.
I got the gig, man, and so that was that.
Yeah, it's Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, right?
Oh yeah.
He said the hardest thing to do is to be a new band in public because everybody watches the breakups and they wonder what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
And so you guys right off the bat, both Byron and Jed bail, and now you've got who you have, Kai and I can't remember who else. What's the other guy?
You got Kai, Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty plays bass. Yeah. And then Beeve.
Yeah. And so you kind of have this formed band now, right?
Yeah. It was rocky at first. Everybody. It's hard to work out the kinks of a new band when you're in public. I mean, you don't have the time to go through these growing pains behind the scenes. Like Jed and Byron are awesome dudes, man. Like,
killer.
We jammed a bunch of times, recorded some shit. But the directions were different. Like the musical directions were different, so they just did their own thing. We did our thing, and everything's still cool, but
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, no, it's funny because from the outside, like little old me, right? I'm watching this and I'm like, uh-oh, because I watched Threat Signal kind of get wonky, right? And I'm like, man, I got to see Jon break out. You know what I mean? And I really like Ryan and Pete. Yeah, Jon comes in and fucks the whole thing up, man. What's up with that?
Nobody wants to work with this fucking asshole.
Oh man. Yeah, right. Oh well, fortunately you're a great guy and it didn't fall apart. So then that question is when did you know this was you, man? Yeah. Nothing was going to stop you from being Jon Howard, man. When did you know that nothing mattered as far as, man, I'm not going to do anything but pursue my art? When did you know?
Oh fuck! It's just all I've wanted to do, probably, well, definitely when I was in college, because I got a taste of college life, and then I went to work for the city. I was doing surveying, and I had a job, and I'm like, I'm just not satisfied with any of this shit. I just felt I had more to offer. People need to hear some of my lyrics. I just had to get shit out, and I wanted to experience traveling, and I just didn't want to be stuck. I wanted fucking excitement, adventure. That shit has never died.
Yeah.
I'm just not satisfied, man. Like, I just want to keep pushing and growing. So it was probably back in 2003. I'm just like, boom, it's on. And I had this job working for F-Base, where I could come home from tour and work, and then like another tour would come up and I'll be like, okay, I got to take 5 weeks off. And then my boss will be like, oh, cool. Like, where are you going? Like they're interested in my music and they support me. Right. So it's cool to have a job to do that, because you can't you don't know how long in between tours are, you have to do stuff on the side. You have to have different sources of income. Right. So always keep them busy. So I just set my life up to keep touring. So
yeah, no doubt. Were you surprised that commerce, sadly, for the most part of the music business, is a lie? Like, there's just no rock star lifestyle anymore. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like monetizing is such a lucky man's game, and you're proof of it because you got the record deal without, in a sense, you got the lucky man's record deal, and then you've been around for 20 years, and then you got two photographers who changed your life. You've had this string of events, and yet you're still, I mean, like most of us, man, you're working. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not a slam. It's just, you're not living 100% on tour, on the road, living this sort of big Kid Rock bullshit lifestyle that doesn't exist. Was that a surprise?
Maybe at first, because you think it's the dream. It's what you're shown, It's like, that's what you think it is. But I don't know, man. Like I never jumped in the industry to make money. It's just something you do. I don't know. I just want to make music, So and I don't know, maybe even just grinding and making money and just keep grinding. Maybe it keeps the music fucking real,
Yeah.
Maybe not getting too comfortable. I can still write some fucking pissed off shit.
No doubt. Are you doing a lot of work at Woodward? I mean, that's your studio. That's your personal studio, right?
Yep. This is it's like a home studio thing, man. I started recording to record Threat Signal, to get our shit down, to record my voice, record, all that shit. But I found out I just really loved it, and then I got more deep into it and started building up my gear. And then I started reaching out to bands, do you need any help? And it just started growing. I don't really advertise or anything, and I only take on bands if I can, if I like them and like if I'm interested, right? But I've helped a ton of bands around here just get their shit recorded, and I don't charge them an arm or a leg, man. Like, man, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I kind of, I got her finger. So I'm still doing that to this day. I still do it part-time, and yeah, always working on something, man.
Right. So 3 things you're going on right now. You got F bass, you got Woodward, and then you got bands in general. But I mean, is the Monolith take most of your time as a musical endeavor, or do you have other projects that maybe, you know, I'm not aware of?
Yeah, because I talk to Christian occasionally, and we talk about starting Archaea back up.
Okay.
Because we formed that band back in 2008. Yeah, when Fear Factory was having a downtime and Threat Signal was going through member changes. So we started a project. So that was really fun. So we talk about starting it up, but all my time lately is invested in a Monolith. Especially now that like I'm really into the band now. You know, at first I joined and they had the songs written, you know, and like even a lot of the vocals Ryan had written, you know. So I was just kind of like the voice and the, you know, that guy. But now I've been working with them for a couple of years now, so like I'm right in there. So like I've been writing a lot of fucking guitar shit, you know, producing a lot of the songs. Like I'm digging my claws in, and we got a bunch of new songs coming out this year that we're gonna be dropping. So I've been working hard on the new Monolith sound. It's evolving, and you know I'm kind of bringing a little of my Threat Signal vibe in or whatever I got. You know, so it's just gonna evolve in that kind of way. Fuck, I'm super excited. So, you know, when you're excited about something, you got to roll with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know it's a long ways away from you, but once this all stops and you guys play a show in Seattle, dude, I'm going to be standing up front sucking on a lollipop pretending I'm your number one still. He'll be the fat old white guy standing up front waving at you going, I know you, I know you.
Well, that's just like most of our shows anyway. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's actually how it works, right? The business seems to cater to guys like me who just don't want anybody to know that they're secretly down with the sickness.
Yeah, right, man.
Let me ask you a final question, John.
Yeah.
This might be a tough one. This might be an easy one for you. What does physical death mean to you? What about you lives on?
Oh, I think energy is neither created or destroyed. You know, I think the energy within us just lives on, man. You know, like I don't think death is real at all. We can't even begin to fathom it, man. You know? That's a deep fucking question there, bro.
Yeah, well, it's meant to inspire. It's also meant to, sometimes it pisses people off, so it's perfect.
No, because I think about that shit all the time, man. Like, what is life? You know, like, what is this place? You know, like, fucking Threat Signal's album Disconnect is like just all thinking about that shit. You know, it's just questions, and you know, no, like we can't even begin to have you know, we can't think that far in depth, man. You know, we don't know what death is, but I think, you know, we live on somehow, some form. So, but
that's solid, man. You know, a friend of mine last year, I was going through a bit of depression, pretty down about life and feeling like I had never achieved anything worth value. And he said, you know what, Rob, you know what your purpose is? And I'm like, yeah, tell me what my purpose is. And he goes, he goes, your purpose is people. And I'm like, what? And he goes, dude, your purpose is people. Like you're made with your gift, whatever your gift is, you just keep being you. And how you influence people is your purpose. And I'm telling you, John, dude, I mean, if you think about it just like that, just little old me has been influenced by you. You're that badass that you helped one guy on the other side of the world, basically, who was sitting in his house in West Seattle, feeling like crap about himself one day and wishing his record deal would take off because it didn't. We'll have to talk about that offline sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
And I pull up GarageBand and I hear Rationalize. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this drummer? Was the first thing. And I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying, but he's so pissed off. It's awesome. But dude, you know what? Because it was, you know, you could download those MP3s back then.
Yeah.
I downloaded it. I burned it to a CD. All three songs.
Yeah.
And I played them over and over and over. I memorized the drum parts. I memorized all the stuff. And I was like, this band has to break someday.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, dude, you have been an inspiration to me. I know there's going to be a whole bunch of people that hear this and they're going to go like, I don't know who Jon Howard is, but I want to know now because we've had this conversation. But dude, I mean, you're so the real deal. And I want you to know that, like, if I never, ever see you in face to face again, this has been an absolute badass moment for me, man.
Thank you so much, man. Like, that shit gives me tingles, man. Like, I love hearing that shit. You know, it just inspires me and, you know, reassures me that, you know, what I'm doing is right, you know, because, you know, you go down this path and sometimes you question yourself, but yeah, I know. I love hearing shit like that, man.
Good.
Fucking right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. So you be good, keep the course, and I'll see you someday, somehow. All right, brother?
I'll see you. Fucking right. I'm coming down there.
All right, brother. Be good, man.
Thanks again, man.
See ya.